The Parliamentary Committee on Higher Education is holding hearings into the recent spate of protests at the two Durban universities. The management from the Durban University of Technology and the University of KwaZulu-Natal will give testimony about the reasons and impact of what's been described as a student unrest. Let's get more on this story. We're joined by our reporter Karinda Jagmohan, who is at the Durban University of Technology. Karinda, good morning to you. Take us back to the goings-on at these universities where you are. What has been happening on the ground?
Good morning. Well, on the ground since January, there have been several student protests at both the Durban University of Technology and the University of KwaZulu-Natal. This has led to both these institutions temporarily suspending their academic programs more than once since January because of the protests. The protests have led to infrastructure being damaged. At the DUT's Pietermaritzburg campus, 9 cars were torched following a student protest that happened in the early hours of the morning, while at UKZN infrastructure was also damaged outside the university. We've just been speaking to some of the students on the ground who say that while their reasons for these protests may vary at both institutions, one of the core demands is ultimately looking for free tertiary education. On the ground currently, many students have issues including access to Wi-Fi spaces, access to their residences. Some students said that they don't want to be vaccinated, and so because of university regulations, they need to be vaccinated to get admission into residences. So this has also been an issue. Students coming from especially the rural parts of KwaZulu-Natal need assistance with accessing Wi-Fi spaces. So these are some of what students are telling us on the ground, but today at this hearing, the management of both universities will actually tell this committee, or they'll be grilled, like you said earlier, on what their process has been to resolve issues that can be resolved by the universities. We'll also hear about the cost and the consequences of these protests, how it has affected the academic program and what the cost is bearing on the universities as well. Ultimately, what the aim is for this committee and these hearings is to find a way forward so that at these times when the universities are expected to open and academic programs are supposed to start on time, universities will be able to do this as opposed to seeing the number of protests we have seen, especially at these two Durban institutions where at times the programs are suspended.
That's Karinda Jagmohan live for us at the Durban University of Technology.